Aviation mysteries are scary stories about stupid mistakes not being clear or just bad luck. There have been a lot of aviation disasters in the past, and some of them are hard to explain. Even though technology has improved and it's easier to keep track of what's going on, these kinds of events still rule people's lives. People think that flying is safer than other ways to travel, but the number of air disasters in recent years has made people wonder how pilots are evaluated and how airlines can make sure that such terrible things don't happen again. But before we start our countdown, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon as well. Number 10. 1979 Boeing 707-323C disappearance. On January 30, 1979, about 30 minutes after taking off from Tokyo, a Boeing 707-323C went missing over the Pacific Ocean. The plane was going from Tokyo to Rio de Janeiro, Galeão International Airport. It had a 6-person crew and was carrying paintings worth $1.4 million USD. To this day, there has been no sign of the plane, its crew, or the paintings. Number 9. Crash of Helios Airways Flight 522. Helios Airways Flight 522 was a passenger flight that ran from Larnaca, Cyprus to Athens, Greece. On August 14, 2005, it crashed into a mountain while flying from Larnaca to Athens. When the plane from London got there early that morning, the flight crew said that a door seal had frozen and that one of the service doors was making strange noises. They asked for an inspection of the door. The ground engineer looked at the door and checked to see if there was a leak in the pressure. The pressurization system was set to manual so that the pressure could be checked without the engines running. However, both the engineer and the pilot forgot to change the mode back to automatic when the test was done. Number 8. Flying Tiger Line Flight 739. One of the biggest mysteries in aviation history is the Flying Tiger Line. During the early stages of the Vietnam War in March 1962, U.S. Army Flying Tiger Flight 739 went missing over the Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean. The plane was on its way from Guam to the Philippines. About an hour after the last time anyone talked to the plane, people on a nearby Standard Oil tanker heard a loud explosion in the sky. Investigators think it could have been the plane. No Mayday calls were sent to any air traffic control centers, which makes people even more suspicious about what happened. A search mission with 1,300 people, 48 planes, and 8 boats turned out to be a complete waste of time. Some people think that the plane was accidentally shot down by the U.S. government, which then tried to cover up their mistake by saying that the engine and communication systems failed. Investigators have been trying to figure out what happened for 54 years, but they haven't been able to come up with a single logical answer. Number 7. 1956 B-47 disappearance. One of the 4 flights planned to go to an airbase overseas was a B-47 heavy bomber. In 1956, the plane carrying 2 nuclear bombs went missing over the Mediterranean Sea. They looked for a long time, but they didn't find what they were looking for. Even now, the plane, its crew, and the 2 nuclear bombs have not been found. Number 6. Boeing 727-223 disappearance. A Boeing 727-223 went onto a runway without permission and took off toward the southwest without its lights on. It headed over the Atlantic Ocean. When the plane took off, there was a mechanic and a flight engineer on board making repairs. No one ever saw the plane or the men again. Some people think that someone was waiting inside the plane, while others think that one of the men took the desperate chance because something bad had happened. Number 5. TWA Flight 800. The TWA 800, a Boeing 747, was leaving JFK Airport for Paris. Just as it got permission to go up in altitude, the plane blew up without any warning. Thousands of pounds of kerosene and 230 people were set on fire while the plane was in the air. The strangest thing was that there was no proof of a crime. Who shot down the plane? It's still a puzzle. Number 4. Flight 19. In 1945, 6 planes went missing and were never found again, which is one of the most talked about plane disappearances, when the 5 huge Avenger torpedo bombers took off from their base in Eft. Lauderdale, Florida, for a bombing exercise in the Bermuda Triangle. The weather was said to be average. The pilots had trouble with their compasses, so all 5 planes stopped talking to the ground station. But the ground station was able to follow the pilot's transmission, so it was clear that they were going in the wrong direction. The Coast Guard and Navy then went on a rescue mission that took 5 days and covered 700,000 square kilometers. During that time, another plane with 13 people on board went missing and was never found again. So far, nothing from the missing planes or passengers has been found. This has led to more speculation about the Bermuda Triangle. Number 3. Disappearance of Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart was the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean in 1932. In 1928, she was the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean. She showed everyone that women can do great things. But on July 2, 1937, on a trip to fly around the world, her twin-engine Lockheed Electra vanished near the international date line in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. This was a sad and mysterious end to her story. Scholars have a lot of ideas about what happened to her, like the possibility that she was stuck on an island for years. There is no way to know for sure about anything. Most people think that she just ran out of gas and crashed into the sea. Another idea is that she was a spy for Franklin D. Roosevelt and that the Japanese put her in jail. Number 2. D.B. Cooper, Aviation Mysteries. In 1971, a man who went by the name D.B. Cooper took over a Boeing and jumped out of it with $200,000 in cash and a parachute on his back. No signs of Cooper have been found, but FBI investigators say that he could not have made it through the jump. Some people think that before the hijacking, the man was in charge of a grocery store. Number 1. Disappearance of the Pinheiro do Brasil. The disappearance of the Pinheiro do Brasil in 1946 is one of the biggest aviation mysteries. Sounds pretty simple, right? We still haven't gotten to the weirdest part. 47 years later, the same plane landed at the Bogotá airport in Colombia with human bones, a hot cup of coffee, and an old newspaper. What happened to the plane in 1946? Who did all of this? It's still a mystery. These are the top 10 unsettling aviation mysteries. Tell us about your favorite one in the comments section below, and also subscribe to our channel for more luxury videos. Press the bell icon for all the latest updates. Thanks for watching.